Hey guys, Jason here. So we're done with the Mark Twain Farm Toy Show for 2020. We just got home a little bit ago. We unpacked the vehicle, and that's as far as we've gotten because we're tired. So that's kind of the first thing. Is it's exhausting doing a weekend show. I think a lot of that is because we had a ton of fun. So anyway. So I guess the first thing I want to do is I want to thank a bunch of people at the show because it was our first show, and it was great. We were welcomed by pretty much everybody. I mean, everybody was super nice. All the other dealers and all that, people were more than happy to share their knowledge and give us tips. So I think first and foremost, I want to thank my good friend Herb Minix, who has been a friend of mine in this industry for 30 years now, probably since I was a little kid. His son Bobby, who was awesome, and more than willing to give us advice and all that stuff. We met a great couple, Terry Brown and his wife. They were kind of diagonal from us. We made good friends with them over the weekend. Across the hall from us was Matt Spencer, and we didn't know it. But it turns out you need a doorstop. Like, of course you need a doorstop. You've got to keep your door open, right? Well, we didn't think of that. Well, Matt, being a pro at farm toy shows, had an extra, so he kind of tossed it over and said, "Here you go." So, big thanks to Matt for that. Also Danny Angotti, who is just always fun to be around and great with advice and great to talk to. One of the first guys I walked in the door, and he kind of sat down and started talking to me. So that's you're gonna have a good weekend. And of course his wife Charlotte, who's a wonderful lady. Those two have been doing farm toy shows for a good while now, and I can't think of two better people to get some knowledge from. And then Dan Guard, who put on the show, or the guards, I should say, not just Dan. And then Mr. Shepard, who welcomed us in and kind of got us settled into the room. The guys that run the Mark Twain show, they're on top of things, and that show is it's slick. It's really well done, really well run. Everybody's super friendly. They had a nice gathering on Saturday evening after the busy day was over, and I think we just we kind of enjoyed getting to talk to people there. So yeah, so I guess a few things I learned Friday is like really, it's really kind of cool and chill. Like everybody's, there's people coming and going. It's not like a bunch of hustle and bustle, but it's like a nice steady flow. And then all of the vendors are kind of getting together, and the guys that know each other, they're all kind of talking and doing their thing. And then like if you're new like us, guys are coming in and introducing themselves, checking them out and checking you out and everything. So Friday was really fun. Like I think one, because of the new, but two, like it just seemed like this really great, relaxed farm toy atmosphere. So that was great. Saturday, I had planned to do a little bit more walking around, and it turns out I didn't get a chance to because there were a lot of people coming in and out of that show. At one point, the hotel parking lot was completely full. People were parking out on the road, and I had even heard of some people parking at the business next door, which is a Home Depot, and walking over to the show. So that's crazy. I mean, they had a huge crowd. I did make it down to the ballroom pretty early in the day, and I thought I would beat the crowd. It was so packed, I barely got to walk around. So I know the vendors down there were loving it. We were loving it. Saturday was awesome for us. So much fun. And anyway, then Sunday came, and like Sunday is way more relaxed again, and it kind of came in spurts. Like the first hour or so, you're like, oh gosh, today's gonna be slow. Then all of a sudden, there's a burst of people, and you do quite a bit of business. And it seems like on Sunday, everybody was serious buyers. Like Saturday, you had a lot of looking, and then Sunday, everybody was buying, and so that was good. And then, it kind of tapered off pretty quick right around noon. And then, there were some stragglers late in the day. But, by certainly 1 o'clock, I think, the show had basically had wound down, and we were ready to start packing up and heading home. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of that. Some things I learned, I guess, is for that show in particular. It seems like smaller items, less expensive items are the way to go. So I think next year I'll try to tailor some of my customs to that crowd. I'll try to have more like $25 and $50 items versus I kind of came in guns loaded with some bigger end stuff, like full on decked out New Holland 4-wheel drives and John Deere RX things like that. And the higher end stuff, I sold a few. Don't get me wrong, like I was pretty happy, but my less expensive stuff was super popular. So I'll know that for the future. And I talked to a lot of guys at the show, and they said, "Oh yeah," they're like, "What this stuff here?" Like kind of pointing to my more expensive 4-wheel drives. They're like, "That's a St. Louis Lafayette, etc., situation. That's where those will sell." And then they're like, "This stuff," pointing to my other kind of less expensive stuff. They're like, "That's what you're gonna sell here," and they were right. Those, the guys are pros. They've done it forever. They're dead on. They know what they're doing. So, anyway, I don't know, guys. That's that. Thanks for following along all weekend. Thanks to everybody who came up and said they watched the channel and talked to us, and it was a blast. That was so cool. I mean, I'm always continued to be humbled when you guys come up and say you enjoy what we're doing here. So this week, I promise none of this show vlog stuff. We're getting back to tractors. I've got all my St. Louis stuff that I still have to go through and do reviews on, and then I got a bunch of more stuff here at the Mark Twain Show. So lots of tractor videos this week, I promise, guys. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day. Happy tractor hunting.